Welcome back to a brand new live stream on the channel. Today we have a very special guest. DXB, how you doing, my friend? It's been a
What is
a
going
while.
on, brother?
How
I
you doing,
honestly,
man?
there's no better collaboration in my opinion. We've been talking about this for like nearly 2 years, bro. Like I wanted to
Yeah, it's been a
come and
while.
hang out with you, but it's such a good pleasure to finally make it to your channel, to your audience, and
Most of my audience.
we're gonna have a good time, man. That's for sure, bro.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a good time. And we'll go over some of the market stuff that's been happening, bro. What's your thoughts on the markets at the moment with this Iran-Israel war, bro? I think this is what's pretty much dictating the shift in the market, whichever way it goes. It's just based on that war, right?
Bro, it's funny because the if we go back to pre-Trump election, because of course, you're such a good with the macro as well, and I remember watching one of your live streams, like going back to as far as 2024, where we had the double top,
Yeah.
and I remember you talking about the potential of this market just being manipulated and not running as hard. And honestly, it did play out like that because I don't think people have crypto is such a short memory. And sometimes, even actually, if you go back to what we were saying when everybody got caught out,
Yep.
not crypto G, not DXB crypto, the entire market was rugged with the Trump meme coin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
No, it's ridiculous.
I remember that weekend, bro. Honestly, because I tend to stay up late. Over here, we've got that time difference of 3 hours, and then winter time is 4 hours. And I remember one morning, I just wanted to swap Solana for something, and there was no liquidity in the market. And I had no idea he launched the meme coin. And I looked at the bubbles, and I'm like, what the who's just rock crypto? And more than the war itself, I think that was a precursor to what was going to happen, to the level where no fundamentals, no tokenomics, no pricing, nothing really mattered. Everything got kicked out. And then, of course,
got dragged down, bro. That Trump thing just sucked liquidity out everything else, bro. And then all the people that sold the altcoins to get into it, they got fucked because they were just FOMO in the top, and they just had like a massive 50% crash. And then
that was,
bro, all that money went to someone, bro, and it wasn't the average person. All the fucking insiders, bro. You know what I mean?
So, bro, yeah, it's so we have to address that. Then we had the ultimate bottom in
April.
In April, bro. But people were more upset because the way the market went, rather than focusing on just rebuilding. Because if you dollar cost average over a long period of time, regardless of emotion, the chances are you come out with better bags. Yeah. And an example that I have for you was at those depths, we kind of did a 10x with Lofi because we were trying to farm the Sui ecosystem.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what's happening, man? I've made no money. And the funny thing is, no matter how much information you put out, at the end of the day, what really, and collectively, I mean, we're all retail anyway, trying to help each other. I think the biggest lesson for everyone is, you and I in backstage, we were talking about Bitcoin dominance, bro. And maybe we should just start there because that's crazy things that we were saying in the backdrop. And I think when people get that type of Bitcoin dominance, the ones that there you go, bro. Talk us through that for a minute, bro, because that's the one that we were saying we thought this was the top.
Yeah, I mean, the dominance was just going up nonstop, and then it's like people always have the exceptions to the rules. Like in 2024 and 2023, when we had that crazy run, right? Throughout this time, dominance didn't really drop much. It dropped from like 55 to 51%. But what happened was, what dropped the most during that period of time was USDT dominance. So at that point, I think a lot of people were still on the boat of the market's not really going to go anywhere. So you guys can see over here, USDT dominance from 23 to 24 was basically near the all-time highs. So people were still plowing money into BTC, but they were also plowing money into altcoins as well. And then this is when we had that crazy peak as well over here, because this pretty much touched the long-term trend line, which I don't know. I think I drew it off, but it touched that long-term trend line, and 9 times out of 10, obviously, eventually it'll break, because if this trend line stays intact forever, then at some point, fucking USDT dominance will probably go to 100%. So it held this very, very long-term trend line for a very long time, and then this is when I started booking profits over here, because I mean, bro, that move from 2023 to 2024 was massive, but it wasn't like a big dominance move. And that's why people didn't really take profits, because they thought that, dominance is still very high. Normally when you get an alt season, dominance looks like something like this, right? So people got caught in that move. And then we had another move where obviously it had this drop over here now. This is where a lot of people, even including myself, got caught out as well. Because it looked like it was going to continue down, and then it had this, this lower high type of structure, came down, and everything just went to shits because Trump came in and started banging on the tariffs, and then this is when we got the really bad scale over here, and then the market started to get worse and worse and worse, because dominance just got higher and higher at that point.
Absolutely, bro. I think I agree with you, man. The difference between previous cycles and the rapid, at least anyway, for any sustainable period of Bitcoin dominance drop, forget it. You've got 3.5 years of consecutive growth of the Bitcoin dominance, man. And when we thought finally it's going to give way, it catches everyone. But yeah, I agree with you, bro. I'm in that same space. But the good thing is, I've finally convinced myself, the crew, everyone, look, without that drop in, like you said, with the aid of the USDT dominance, I'm also watching the Dixie a little bit, but it's just about dollar cost averaging before that, because
I think so as well.
Yeah, you don't have an alt season, bro.
We're not gonna get one until that dominance drops. So what I tell my groupies to do is, like, the people that watch me, I tell them, listen, the best thing you can do right now is build on your conviction plays, but trade on the side, whether it's spot trading, whether it's low leverage. When you start seeing major events in the markets where everyone's shit in the bed, and you're hearing people calling for 80K, 90K, etc., that's the time you buy. And then when the same people that's calling for major drops start to get bullish, that's when you take profits. Just start trading, because what people tend to do is, and this is the people that tend to get very frustrated, is the people that's just holding, buying and holding, because that way you don't feel like you're making money, because alts are not really moving, with the exception with the meme coins. Obviously, they tend to move a lot quicker, right? If you're not holding a meme coin that's moving fast, or you're not holding some AI agent that's moving fast, there's always going to be 1 or 2 coins that outperform in your portfolio. But if the majority of them are not moving, then you are going to get frustrated. So the best thing to do is just do trading on the side. As long as, even if you make $1,000 here, $500 here, at least you feel better about yourself, because you're making something, rather than not doing nothing at all. Because that's how people get frustrated, and that's how I see it as well. So I've been just telling people, like, if your bags are more stacked than there was last year, then what you can do, then you don't need to chase the 20, 30x's. In reality, all you need is a 5 to 10x. You don't need to chase the higher x's, even though they will come at some point, but you don't need to chase them, because your bags are double than what we were last time. If you were chasing a 30x last time and your bags are half, and now you got double that, all you need is a 15x. You don't need to chase, because that's how a lot of people get caught out as well. They chase the higher multipliers at the end of the cycle, where the higher multipliers come in the bear market. All these gains I made throughout fucking 20, all in the bear market. That's when you buy. The longer we go, imagine you bought a coin when Bitcoin was at 15, 16, 20K, and you're trying to buy it now at it's not going to be the same price as back then. So don't get too greedy with the multipliers. I think that's how a lot of people get caught out, in my opinion.
100%. I agree with you. I think it took a while to come around to the concept. Again, coming from where we're coming from in previous cycles, where you bought shit and it did whatever excess at multiple different times of a cycle. This cycle, we've got institutions in. Now, one of the things I keep saying to people is, have your bags that you believe in. So this is the stuff where if you go on a meme coin, say you did a 20x quick or 10x or whatever, go and have a strategy where you can park that money, right? Because that money will ultimately grow, because some of the projects are at their bear market lows, right? They hardly got off the bottom, and everybody thinks that they've obviously missed out. And the other mistake that I see sometimes is people look at the market cap and they think something's not going to do more. Like you said, sometimes they chase the 30x on a larger market cap. And I feel like this cycle's been so tiring, so different. Part of it is because I think I remember you've called some unbelievable projects from the trenches, like 23, 24, like some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, some random shit, bro.
With crazy gains. I mean, when I first met you, I remember before you started even the channel, your calls were like some of the illest in the game, like some of the biggest calls in the game. And that came from the fact that, of course, not only you were in the trenches and catching things super early, but they came from the fact that you know how to do the research. You know how to put together the research, obviously speak to the teams, find out the information. And for me, the principle is this: find, believe. So for example, there's things that I've been buying for ages and I'll continue to buy. For example, I buy Sui, Casper, Tau at different times. So I'll just put that bag naturally grows. And then I've got my kind of like low caps that I believe in, and these stay in the portfolio. Then you got tons of shit to flip. Whether you go do the leverage, which I think everyone should learn, very risky.
It is very risky.
Trade a low cap, man, and then add that to your conviction. But honestly, what people haven't seen, and again, it's like I use an analogy from the movie 2012, bro, where you got the madman at the end saying the world's going to end, believe in Jesus Christ or whatever he's talking about. And he's telling everyone that the world's going to end tomorrow, and no one believes him. And that's what we become, And then later on, shit just goes absolutely parabolic at the irrational phase of the bull market. And then everybody is very smart and intelligent, and they're like, oh, big up, thank you for this,
facts,
thank you for
that. This is the life of the influencer thing, bro. It's like
the life
when the market, bro, when the market's fucked, bro, everyone goes around, calls you a scammer, everyone calls you this, that. And then when the market goes bullish again, they either disappear or they come and say thank you to your later stage, or I was wrong. Bro, it's like, I've heard it so many times. It's like, bro, like, in 2023, that summer was so dead. Everyone was calling anything a scam. I held AI taking AGI throughout 2023, and then because everything else was pumping, and their narrative had not, and people at this point did not understand the concept of narratives. Like, crypto does not work in individual coins; it works in narratives, right? People didn't understand this. So then, when the AI take and AGI were just either consolidating or just chilling at the same spot for months, where at that point all the gaming coins were doing 500x, 100x, 50x, whatever, they were calling it a scam. And then a month or two later, they started pumping because AI came back around, and then and everyone started saying, "Oh, thank you for the call, bro. I wish I had." Or this is this. A lot of people don't have patience in this game, bro. And it's a difficult cycle, bro. Yeah, it's the patience, and this is a hard cycle to prepare. This is your first cycle, bro. I feel bad for you, bro.
That's the thing, and I think sometimes I like to always look at things in a, the space is not being perfect. For every crypto G, there's tons of idiots out there who don't know what they're talking about, and that's for sure. That added to the sentiment amongst people when it comes to doing what we do. And it's not easy, and we do it because we love this game. We do it because it's our job. We do it because it's the one thing that we know how to do, and we know it, and we know the fact that it changes people's lives. Often you get a text or a DM in the Discord, someone comes up to you and says, gee, you know what, with the XP, yo, man, I've just paid my mortgage. I've had those. and that wipes out all of the idiocy. You know, there's a guy, you know, I'm not going to name him, but one of my community members, and this guy put 70 grand into Mavia as opposed to Sui at 72 cents. And man's arguing with me. I'm like, bruv, are you stupid? You've got a layer one at 72 cents, bro, right? Because you know what happens, you know, when the, you know, like, for example, I will talk about one of your biggest launches of the year happening right now, StateX. And you know, there's stuff that I wanted to ask you about it. But, you know, when you have the conviction, it could take you, you know, the project could be 5x up or 10x up from the floor. But the moment you smell that coffee and you understand what you're dealing with, then you start to acquire that asset on the down low. You know, if it dips, you buy, you build a conviction. If you need 10, 20,000 or 50,000 SUI, you go grab it between 42 cents and 72 cents. And the geezer is like, yo, I want to do 1,000x with this one.
With Mavia,
yeah, go ahead, mate. Fucking do it.
It's crazy though.
Then obviously, then you got, you know, you're like, you know, you should be with, you know what I mean? You should be watching Crypto Galaxy, you know, don't come to us for fundamentals, tokenomics. You know what I mean? Go and say Pepe. You know, I saw Galaxy the other day, bro. You won't believe this. My man was saying Pepe. And there was like, I think there was like 1,000 people on his live stream, right? He was like, Pepe is about to pull a 50x from here. Casper is going to $20. And there's people sitting there, normies. And they're like, yeah, let me send this guy $50 so he can read my comment. So I don't really think people want to hear the truth. I think, you know, if you and I started talking shit about a bunch of tokens doing fucking, you know, Ondo going to $100 from here, I think people will appreciate that more.
You would actually get way more views, and this is what a lot of big influencers do as well. Is like they go for the normie caps because that's what like all these other big YouTubers, like the Archies and the bigger YouTubers than us, they started on the low cap, didn't work out for them, and they went to the high caps because it's a lot easier.
It's easy.
If you just talk about Ondo, Sui, fucking Fetch, or whatever it is, it's not really rocket science. They go down 10, 15% here and then. They go up 20, 30%, you know. So it's like that's the easy route out,
It's less risky. You know, there was a time to buy those. I remember Sui had $500 million. And then what's his name? Biggest channel of all, the English guy. What's his fucking
That was a crypto.
Nah, bigger than him. Like, what was I forgot? Crypto, what's his name? I forgot his name, man. He's the biggest in crypto anyway, bigger than Banter and all of these guys.
Coin Bureau.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bro, he did a nice FUD video when Sui was at 500.
I remember that. I actually was watching it.
That was wild. It does not have validators. It's like the normie's not going to go and look for who validates their transactions, do they? Nope, but I remember a lot of people who didn't buy Sui because of that, because the guy was talking about the number of validators, the number of PCs and fucking whatnot. And that's why people are like, what's happening? Like, I'm selling my Sui at 12 cents, you know? So it's weird, bro. It's a weird space.
Someone said my microphone is low. I don't know. Is it low?
Yours or mine, bro?
Saying mine is low. That's what J Mota is saying. I don't know. Is my microphone low?
I can hear you clearly.
I think everyone can hear me. I think some people just, I don't know, it gets like that, to be fair. Either I got my microphone right next to my mouth, but I don't think it's too low, to be honest. Do you hold SPX?
Nah, 69, no.
I traded it, but it's moving really well recently. But it's like, it's just, if anyone like jumps on it now, I think you're just gonna become exit liquidity. But I'll be honest, because when I from here, yeah, but it's at basically the all-time high right now, damn near.
Bro, it's one of them ones, and a lot of people will FOMO into certain projects. I mean, it's done really well. For me, the time to get into this was just
Yeah, like
you know,
months, 2
sometime
months
in
ago, month and a half ago.
early 24, man. Yeah,
I
or
mean, even
even
if you
2
got in
months ago.
somewhere around here,
2 months ago, I know
yeah,
a
if you
few
got in
friends who
March,
actually,
April.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
the first meme
that
I
would have been
bought,
sick because
and it just got me interested back in meme coins, bro. And because I don't so well in this, I thought, you know what, like this for a high cap, or like at that point it was like a decent mid cap. You know, it moved really fast and well, bro. I thought, you know what, this is the point where I have to start trading and doing something, bro, because otherwise I'm just not gonna make any money, bro. And that's when I started getting into this. And I got into this, it done very well. I did take profits a bit earlier though, but I don't really complain about stuff like that, bro. Like you're making money, you know, even if this
yeah,
goes to
any money.
$2, yeah, bro. If you make any money, even if this goes to $2, that's a bad mentality. A lot of people have that mentality, is where they'll make like a 10, 20x, and then the coin goes on to do another 20x. It's like, oh, I wish I had, but it's like, bro, where the fuck else are you gonna make a 10 to 20x in a few weeks, bro?
It's
Like
not
you're not
enough
gonna
for
make it.
people.
It's not, bro. This is the greed, though. This is the greed that gets the people, though.
And ultimately, honestly, I have a very good friend who's done very well in crypto, and the thing he always says is the greed that gets you. Whether even sometimes on leverage, you know, you're 100% up on your leverage, you know, your PNL is flashing all over your screen. Like, nah, man, it's gonna do another 10%. Boom. You go to the toilet, come back, and you're in trouble. So you have to sometimes you have to clip it, you have to claim your profits. And I love the fact that you're actually showing this chart, because one of the reasons why people love meme coins is, you know, apart from the simplicity of being able to onboard people any moment. And this is why I think this bear market is going to be a bit different for us, because
Yeah,
while we wait for our really good fundamental plays to retrace whatever 90%, 80%, whatever, I think the casino will be open.
I think so as
So
well. Yeah, I don't think the
yeah,
casino is gonna die. You know, because people
I
just
don't
love.
think it will die. It's kind of like it's going to be a non-stop. But I think the accumulation will be spectacular, in my opinion. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, you almost want to fast forward, get to the bear market, cash out, get to the bear market,
The bear market, yeah.
get your stable coins, and then, you know, you've got the shit casino with the shit coins, and
Yep.
then you've obviously got your other plays.
Fundamental plays, yeah, because they will still do well though. I feel like, you know what it is. I think if every single cycle we've had, like one chain takes over, I don't know if Solana is still going to be the same chain as next cycle. So whether the casino will always be open, but I think there will be another chain, and I think after we get some sort of, you know, clarity on the regulation side, you know, I think there will still be room for like fundamentals to still go. In my opinion, at least, I think they'll
I
all do
agree with
well.
you, bro.
I think they'll
Nah,
all do well, bro.
surely not. I mean, I'm just looking at the looking at the market now. You know, we were talking about the war earlier, and a lot of people in this part of the world now are just chilling in front of Al Jazeera, CNN.
Yeah, just waiting for something to happen.
Bro, it's really not too far. So like occasionally, like I was telling you in the backstage, you know, I live quite near the airport, that I've noticed a massive drop in air traffic after 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. So yeah, man. Are they gonna rug us some more before they send the market?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if it really, really escalates, then it's just going to be bad for the markets, anyways. But like, I think it's 30% or roughly between 25 to 40% of all the oil that gets, you know, distributed globally
Globally,
goes
yeah,
through
bro.
through the what is it, something Hormuz or whatever it's called, bro.
Straits of Hormuz, yeah.
Strait of
So
Hormuz, yeah, that's where all the oil goes through. You know,
that's
if that gets,
literally the narrow. It's like the narrowest point between Oman,
yeah.
Iran, and the UAE. It's literally a choke point. If that happens,
You know, Iran's gonna shut that place down, bro, and you know you're gonna get, bro, your oil price is gonna fucking fly up, inflation's gonna go up, and then, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you just get a massive slump after that for a while until that war gets resolved. So I really hope this war does not escalate, because it does have global, you know, consequences for everyone across the world, across the markets. You know, this is why it's so important. And the DJs don't really care because Michael Saylor just purchased a fucking shitload of BTC, bro. He does not care.
This guy, bro.
Yo, this guy is crazy, bro. He bought 10,000 BTC for
Well, let me
1
ask you a
billion.
question on this one, G, because there are those that say if micro strategy, or whatever they call it now, if they fail or they need
Yeah.
to have, or if they do a bank run or whatever, and they are forced to sell Bitcoin, you know, we could be in an epic, market crash. And I always try to not forecast, but have ideas or theories what's going to cause the next bear market. One was the USDT FUD since 2017, and the other one, what do you reckon will give us a crypto bear market? Because right now we're just doing macro stuff, but you know, last time we had FTX, of course, we had the other protocols failing, and this time around we had Mantra OM, and I wanted to talk to you about RWA. We had the rug.
We're definitely talking about RWA, man.
6 billion, bro, and the market didn't even flinch.
I think it's changed now, bro. Like 1 billion, 2 billion liquidations last cycle was like fucking crazy news, bro. Now it just happens every other week and no one really cares. That's what's crazy. The other one just rugged the other day as well, bro. This one right here. I had it on my fucking watch list.
Was it ZK, bro?
ZKJ, yeah. This one right here, bro. Just fucking
Polyhydra, yeah.
Yeah, the team rugged
about hell, man.
$2. So according to IXBT, but they made like 90 million, bro. That's crazy. Fucking sold the shit out of it.
Polyhydra rugged.
It had some decent volume. Yeah, basically rugged, yeah, because the team sold. And then the team came out and said some bullshit like, oh, we're still developing. And it's like, bro, everyone can see your fucking wallets. You just sold 90 million, bro. You're not developing shit. But these guys are, bro, this is why you have to be very careful not to marry your bags. And this is why research is so important, because if you looked at that project fundamentally, it's a very strong project backed by Binance. You know, I feel like anything that's touched by Binance is
scary.
Fucking Binance.
They're the new ruggers, man. Look at Gunzilla, bro.
Gunzilla, that I think everything that just launched on Binance got hit the hardest in the fucking crash, and I think they'll get hit the hardest again on the next crash.
Fuck, man.
Unless you're giving them fucking cash, if you're giving them your tokens, you're gonna get fucked, because what they'll do is they'll short your coin, and then they'll start selling it, bro. And then at that point, they're making money both ways, because they're not only making money by selling, they're making money by shorting as well.
Shorting it as well.
But this is what a lot of institutions do as well. It's like, I think there's so many tricks this cycle where everyone gets caught. So there's a thing called like delta neutral, right? So what institutions do is they buy the spot to cover their spot in case, you know, the market, like there's some sort of uncertainty. They go short, they buy the spot in case the market goes down to cover their spot. They go short, so the money they make on the spot will make them either break even or slightly in profit. That's what a lot of them are doing now. And retail think, oh, BlackRock just bought, you know, 100 million, whatever the fuck BTC. But then they don't understand that these guys are shorting and long in the market at the same time. They're not
at the same time, bro.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, it is probably the hardest cycle. I mean, nothing compares to it. You know, before you could make dumb money overnight and get lucky, but now you have to spend a lot of time friggin' researching and kind of like almost like you said, you know, not to marry the bags unless you've got something for, like, say, a long term, you know, if you're not bothered by the market fluctuating. But that kind of brings me to my, first of all, it was the first question I was going to ask you, but give us a kind of a breakdown on where RWA is, because I call you the RWA king. Few people come over to me sometimes on my live stream. I'm like, yo, you need to go and see the RWA king to get some information. But you've had a nice launch on a much anticipated RWA project. Tell us about that one, bro.
StateX, bro. I think StateX will be massive, bro. Like, it's like when I look at fundamental projects, is that, you know, they lack they have all the aspects. So, for example, like one of the fundamentals that does everything right but just has shit marketing is Alt. Like they market, they have all the fundamentals. You know, they generate millions of revenue. They're a legit company registered in the in the New York, so they can't really rug because they're a registered company. But the price action doesn't do well because they lack marketing. It's like if you just ask a random YouTuber if they ever heard about it, they'll say no, they've never heard about it. Whereas if you ask them if you heard of fucking some AI agent on Solana, of course they've heard of it because everyone talks about it, right? And that's the difference. But whereas StateX, I think, does everything correct because they got such a massive community. You know, their community is just crazy because when you put a property out and it sells out in like 5 minutes, that just shows the community is behind you. But at the same time, their marketing, I think, is top level marketing. I think they're like AI Tech is a prime example of a project that's really good at marketing. I think they're on like similar levels to AI Tech in terms of marketing because they have everything planned out in terms of all the bullish announcements they're going to keep releasing, and they got some like, massive KOLs, that's behind them. I'll
Bro,
speak to you about it
yeah, the
privately, bro.
utility is
Massive.
also quite
Yeah.
mental, isn't it? Because
But the
there's of course,
utility is solid. That's one of the things that really stood out because, like, I've not seen a project in terms of RWA that's so low cap, that has a working product, the testnet's coming out, but also like the utility it has behind it because it caters to everyone. If you invest into like a part of a real estate or whatever it is, your money is liquid. You can use that money to pay your bills, to get loans, to do whatever you want, and that's like it's like like a sort of like a bank slash RWA project. Because if you go to the bank now and get a loan, you need to have there's a lot of paperwork involved. They might not even give you the money. Whereas if you invest part of that real estate and and you got I don't know 10-20% of worth of it, whatever, not only are you generating revenue from that real estate, but you can take out loans and use that liquidity for anything you need. I think that's quite unique. I've not seen that in RWA projects. I've seen them obviously do the normal, like Propbase does the buying and selling, and people tokenize it, whatever. But I've not seen that liquid aspect of it, to be honest.
To obviously make your asset liquid. And the other thing as well, they've actually got a credit card as well, bro. Like that's I'm always so the reason I'm talking about the credit card is, as we're in crypto, right? It's difficult sometimes, again, on ramp, off ramp. For me, still it's heading in the right direction, but it is probably the one part of the entire kind of like, if you call it the guest journey. You buy crypto, you're in the blockchain, and then you want to buy an ice cream or something. And I know banks like Revolut and there's a few of these applications that are popping up really trying to change that. But these guys, you can use your card as part of the collateral or ESX, the token, and start buying normal things like groceries.
Yeah. Which is, I think that's quite unique, to be honest. I've not seen that in the crypto space yet. And another thing I spoke to them about is like, us YouTubers, and this was not something they wanted to do as well, work with celebrities to tokenize, whatever they want, whether it's their YouTube channel, music careers. And I think that's got an area which at some point can blow up because anything that generates revenue can be tokenized. So if your YouTube channel is making 50 grand a month, and you want to tokenize it, you need money off front, and you need the cash ASAP. That's you can tokenize your YouTube channel. Whether it's a 500K for your YouTube channel, everyone gets a share of it. Stuff like that. I think is
that's ridiculously good. Yeah,
it's useful.
It is very useful, bro. Like honestly, anything that increases adoption, and of course, there's all these stable coin regulations now. That are coming on, crypto is becoming a lot more nicer to deal with. That's why I always tell people disconnect price or today from where crypto is going to go, or where your bags are going to go, because I think ultimately, if you're seeing a lot of adoption, and it's easy to become skeptical about the current narratives of course, we've been rugged by the president. There's been a meme coin that fucking drained the liquidity of the market. We had double top pre-halving. We had a top pre-halving 2024. It's been a completely different space, but hopefully I'm super excited to and look forward to the to more about StateX as well. And you know, it's been, by the way, it's been in the making for many years, if I'm correct.
Many years, yeah. I think it's been, from my memories, it's been about 4 to 5 years in the making. You know, they were, I think they were part of another project, an NFT. I think it was an NFT project that done really well. And then, you know, the thing is that back last cycle was a lot easier to raise money compared to now. Now the liquidity is spread across so many different areas. It's a little bit harder to raise money. Well, back then, you could have just had anything, a website, you know, 2 backers, and you could have raised, a few million.
200 million, 500.
Yeah, 200 million easily, bro. It's a lot harder now to raise money. So, you know, the fact that they worked on it for so long, and they got massive partnerships. I mean, you got the likes of co-founder of USDT. You got Remax. You know, Remax is a massive real estate place in Europe, US. You know, and they're starting to get a stronger presence in the UAE now as well, which I think they're gonna drop the news themselves at some point. I don't want to leak it, but they're gonna have a stronger presence in UAE as well, which I think is quite massive, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the home of real estate. I mean,
Yeah,
it used to be Miami and some other areas, but yeah, you're right, bro. That's huge. What are they doing with Microsoft? Because that's always got me intrigued.
Microsoft is only a grant, so it's not like a Microsoft grants are not impossible to get, but they're not also easy to get as well. So it's not anything like, crazy, but it's just grants. You know, like when people say they got, especially in crypto, when someone says they got a partnership with Microsoft or this, that,
AWS is the
AWS or Google, 9 times out of 10 is either Google Cloud, or it's just a grant. That's it. Where they give them a 300K and they move on. That's it, and then help them out. They give them access to some of their tools, like NVIDIA incentive program, or all of this stuff is not really that bullish, because you're getting a few $100,000, but the reality is most of these projects that's even somewhat successful has at least a few million.
At least, yeah.
At least, yeah, because they either sell their own tokens while the market's hot, they raise the money that way, or they actually generate revenue, which in this space, I think probably like 100 to 200 tokens actually generate revenue. I don't think many projects actually generate revenue. And that's something that I look into, because if let's say something happens where the market just goes into a bear market, you have to think of that situation where if you're holding some of these altcoins that's actually going down, you want to think that they can survive a bear market. If you think a token cannot survive a bear market, I don't think you should really hold it, in my opinion.
Absolutely, bro. Because that's a solid advice, because you don't know when the markets could turn and you're still waiting to hold the bag.
You might become a bag holder. You don't know.
Yeah. I remember last cycle, bro. I'll give you a quick story. I had about just over 1 million tokens of HBAR. And I was actually one of the lucky ones, compared to some of my friends who ended up riding it all the way back down. But I've managed to sell half of it, or just under half of it. And I caught the second, kind of like, it was actually, I sold it on the dip, really, because I thought, you know what, there's no way we can get to $1, because we were all waiting for $1. Because that was simple maths, right? You buy 1 million tokens to $1, you cash out 1 million. Simple thesis. But as it was dipping, I was like, looking back on it, I was actually one of the luckier ones, because I sold half of it at what people were telling me at the time. I was an idiot, man. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so it's crazy, man.
I came back with it.
They call you an idiot when it's actually time to sell. Because they always think it's going to keep going higher and higher.
But it gets better, bro, because I held the so I saw half, the other half I kept it throughout the whole bear market until last September, sold it, and then it went nuts, because it started. Remember that week when it had the RWA pivot, because RWA was so hot.
Yeah.
But I didn't really care, because I made my money in 2021. I was like, okay, you know what? That was, at that time, a lot of money. So sometimes you will have these memories. And I was going to ask you, actually, but before I do that, let me put you under the spot, man. Give us your top 3 RWA tokens, considering that most of the retailers either buy one or maybe, you know, they don't really kind of look at the logic of maybe holding more than one in a particular niche. So I could have said 5. Maybe I should, you know what? You're the RWA king as well. So I'll give you 5, top 5.
We can do 5 because I do hold about 5 myself. I mean, I hold Ondo as the high cap, and I still add to my Ondo bag because I got into Ondo quite early. It was one that I did try to get private sales for, but it was so hard because it needed to be like a fucking. I have a VC myself, so in order to get, you know, the big allocations into these high caps where all the tier 1 VCs, because my VC is only a tier 3, so you know, for me to get like the higher end of allocations is very hard. You know, if you got into the private sale or whatever in Ondo, you would have made hundreds of X's, just like with Sui and just like with, it is, you know, and it was quite hard to get it. So I didn't get it that way. So I just waited for launch, and as soon as it came out, I just bought because I just thought, you know what, some projects like this, the market was somewhat hot. If this goes on to do a 5, 10x in a short term, I don't think it's going to retrace that much. And you know, with that mentality, it played out for me nicely. So that's probably one of my biggest bags, anyways. But it's one of my, you know, most. I think it will do very well. There's other RWA coins I think is quite good, but they haven't bottomed out yet. So one of them is Redstone. I don't know if you heard of Red. That's basically the platform that all the build stuff. So all the you know, the BlackRock build that you know, the tokenized stuff they did. It's all being used by, you know, they're using Redstone to do it. But the chart looks awful. It hasn't bottomed out, so there's no point in getting into it. You have to wait until it gets somewhere close to the seed levels, and then you buy a bag. You know, and there's quite a few projects I think is on the same level. It's like Peak. A lot of people just keep buying Peak, and I keep telling them, bro, why are you buying it when the early investors are up 13x? You know, there's unlocks every day happening now. It is eventually it will come down, at least if not to the seed sales or somewhere close, and then you can buy, because then there's no one left to dump on you. But
yeah, bro, the funny thing is they unlock 2 million tokens a day, and then by, I don't know, September or August, it's going to go up to 3 million.
3 million, yeah, it's quite hard.
Throughout the rest, it's a lot, and
it's a lot. And this is like a bear market play. And this is, I tell people, like, some projects are good, but you don't have to buy it because they're bear market plates. You know, for example, Plume is another one. Like, Plume is fundamentally strong, but the vesting schedule is so harsh that it's like you kind of be stupid to get into it. You know, it's like the unlock is fucking harsh. And this one's quite harsh as well. 200k daily volume, but then you look at the way I look at it is, you look at the volume. The volume is not that great for Peak. So when these unlocks happen, it's not always going to get absorbed. You know, it's gone up a little bit now, but at one point it was like 2 to 3 million, which is not a lot. You know, and the daily unlocks are like 200k, and then times whatever the investors are up. So it's, you know, it's one of those. I think Peak, could be a big play next cycle in the bear market. It's definitely one that I'm going to accumulate because it has such a solid ecosystem, and you know, and you have to look at the narrative as well. DePIN has been dead for like a year and a half now. Straight away.
Oh, like, man,
it's been destroyed. You know,
Aether is another one.
Yeah, Aether, Ionet.
And the funny thing, bro, is when you look at the DePIN category or narrative, when you have the biggest projects, so the biggest projects like your Ionets and your, you know, these types of, they've absolutely done nothing.
Nothing. And that's how you know narrative is dead.
Yeah, Render is another one.
Yeah, Ionet. This is a prime example of like a DePIN. Like when DePIN done well in 2022 and 2023, you know, it was because of Render. Render led that charge, and then every single, you know, DePIN project done well behind it. But look at, I mean, this does not look like a DePIN run, bro. This looks like a DePIN.
It's a shame. I mean, go. Let me take you back to Plume for a minute, because when Plume came out, and of course the first few weeks, early in the year, it kind of like had that massive drop, bro. And then it started to do really well, really going insane back in March.
Yeah, the Binance.
You reckon the inflation is going to hamper it? Because I can see obviously that circulation is.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, let me show you the inflation, bro. It's horrible, man. Like, because this is a monthly unlock, so it's
24% circulating.
It's 24% circulating, but then you look at I look at it from the volume, if the volume can absorb it or not. So right now, you know, it's because the market cap's gone down now, so the volume is obviously going to be lower. So this was 10 million right now, right? So the next month, in 4 days, there's going to be a 10 million unlock, $10 million. On the next month, it's going to be 24 million. So it's going to be 10% of the market cap being, you know,
unlocked.
Unlocked every single month, which is quite a lot. You know, when the price was higher, this was 40 million, which is that's what's crazy because it's gone down. Obviously, this goes down with it. But you look at the volume is 20 million. The unlock is 24 million. You know, I don't know if it's going to absorb it. It's going to have a decent dump. You know, this is one of the bear market plays, in my opinion. So
That's another one.
Very strong project, but bear market.
So far we've got Ondo, we've got Redstone. Still have 3 more.
Yeah, so
Plume is decent, so we'll put that in a separate category.
Yeah, I've not bought Redstone though. I don't have it in my portfolio, but it's one that, you know, you could either buy in the bear market, but definitely at least have it on your. The ones that I hold are StateX, Propbase, because I like Propbase because of the community they have. They have a solid community. I like Rio.
Bro, you know what? I reckon because it's obviously dual chain as well. It's on Base and Aptos.
Yeah, it's on Base and Aptos.
I think that one's a sleeping giant, in my opinion.
I think so as well, bro. This, you know what they've done recently that made me, because if you look at RWA projects, one of the things that, you know, most of them lack is volume and liquidity. This one has very good volume and decent liquidity as well. And what they've done now is they've basically done where they have this little agent or whatever it is that moves money from different chains to you know, handle the liquidity. So if someone wants to buy big on Base, they'll move liquidity from one place to the other, so people can actually buy heavier on both chains, which I think is quite massive because Rio does that as well. Rio moves, you know, the agent or the bot, whatever they have, moves liquidity from one place to the other. If someone wants to sell big, the chart does not get affected as much. So that's what they've implemented, and then they've also done performance-based unlocks, which is, I think, is quite, you know, very
unique. That's fantastic. Very unique, honestly,
because I've seen CZ talk about it, but I've not seen any other project implement it apart from Propbase, where if the token does not go up 10% at least, they won't unlock any tokens. So they, you know, the team will unlock early investors. I think they have to unlock early investors, but team and other stuff will not unlock. So it's a performance-based unlock, and that's why I think it holds up really well.
It doesn't dump. I mean, if you go back to you know, April times,
2024, bro, it was crazy. Even 2024, it held up like a rock. Even on the dump, it was holding up really, really well. And
yeah, then, even back in April, man, it was kind of like sitting at the same market cap, more or less. I think. You know why I'm extra bullish on it? So one element is the base side, of course, you know, the utility as well. But I genuinely feel like they will kind of rotate into the likes of Aptos later, big layer ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what Aptos is doing is just working with stablecoin regulators and all of that bullshit. So in my opinion, I think Propbase, just being on Base and Aptos, there's a lot of liquidity there.
A lot of liquidity.
So I think that's a solid pick.
These guys have very close, you know, backings from Aptos. Everyone knows Aptos got massive money behind them. At one point, there was a project that was willing. It was like 2022 or 3. There was a big project that was going to go bankrupt, and Aptos offered to buy them for like 200 million. So you know they've got a decent amount of money behind them. They're stacked. So if any time Propbase ever needs help from Aptos, because this is probably the best project on Aptos, you know, they're gonna get that help from them, and that's why I'm bullish on this project, I think. And they got like a top 5 exchange listing coming as well. That's what the team said.
That's brilliant, guys. Smash the like, because that is a clear. That is a clear direction on that one, and I think we agree on that one, bro. So
very bullish on this one.
That's amazing. Me too. I do like this a lot. I've done a couple of buy alerts for it, but I haven't actually shown the same level of conviction. But I will add to my bags and definitely
do some. For 11, they got like 50, 60K holders, which for the market cap,
very well spread. Yeah,
and You know, I look at like because some projects market, but then if the community does marketing for it, it will do well anyways. So Rio has like a massive community. If you go on Twitter, there's pages that tell you like what projects are being talked about the most or being
On the
shilled
mind
on.
share.
I think it's I think it's either Mindshare or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's the most talked about. Rio and Bricken's always under because they got such massive communities amongst the RWA projects. So I just hold
because
them anyway.
I remember you talking about Rio back at the heights as well, because you got into it, of course, in 2023, bro, at the
I got
lows.
into it in 2022-ish.
Oh, 22, sorry. Because
I got
there
into
was
2022, and then I got into it again because there was a lot. Rio always had some weird FUD, bro. Like you go through a period of time where it'll pump 3-4x, and then some FUD will come out. It'll come back down, and then it will just explode up. It always.
So one thing I've noticed is by them kind of doubling the supply, it's so kind of stupid in a way because
I thought it was dumb, bro.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, man.
Some of the what's it called? The like there was a lot of big shillers that was part of it. They didn't like it, so they're just gonna move away from it. And it did kind of kill the project for a decent amount of time because
that was on X, right?
Yeah, it was on X. It was like 2 weeks of straight. Half of the people fudding, half of the people were supporting it, bro.
Bro, it's honestly, I was gonna say, like, I've never seen a project shield more on X than Rio. In fact, I don't find YouTube videos on it. I find
but on Twitter, bro, is the most talked about project ever. I don't ever see real projects like on YouTube ever, bro.
It's but yeah, it's weird, you know. Total supply 175 and max supply.
You know what it is, bro? It's because like you know, like most of Rio is staked. So 90% of Rio is staked. You know, like that's why the community is so big on increasing the supply, because eventually the stakers will run out of tokens. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they've had to increase it, because the people that's mining the token, which basically adds up to almost 90% of the whole supply or the whole, you know, those are the people that want to continue to actually support the project long term. That's one of the main reasons they've done it.
It got like nearly 70,000 holders, bro, which is, you know, I didn't really think it was, wow, that's a lot.
There's a lot of holders, and they've recently done that stupid metaverse bullshit. I don't know what the fuck they're on that for. You see that? Well, the dumbest shit ever, bro. But
no, they're smoking something.
Well, people do it because obviously they make money off it. Let's be honest, right? But people do it to support the real token, because for however amount of land gets fucking bought, a certain amount of real tokens get burnt. So because of that, they've burnt like almost $1 million off the market cap, and then another like 4 or 5 million has been locked up in the district shit. So it's like a massive community where, you know,
it's
the team
huge,
is obviously farming the shit out of it. But you know,
yeah, I saw that. I thought that was quite funny, actually.
I've seen that. I was like, what the fuck are these guys doing, bro? What is this district shit, bro? I thought metaverse shit was back in the last
2020, bro.
Other people buying metaverse lands and shit, bro.
Oh Lord, it's nah, they're doing their thing, you know. I hope they recover, and of course, right now, 20 million, I think 22 million.
Well, you know, is that because they got one of the things that makes me still bullish on Rio is they have this free wallet thing coming out with Freehold Wallet, which is like I look at it as like the palm fund of tokenization, because what it allows
on the iOS is it? I saw something about that.
Yeah, it's on iOS and Android. So it's like a platform where they've been working on this for such a long time. I think it's one of their main products, where anyone and anywhere can tokenize anything without a middleman. So if you want to tokenize your water bottle, your fucking PlayStation or YouTube channel, whatever it is, right? You can tokenize it on the platform. People can invest into it. It's like you know how we had the Solana shit with the Solana hype, the money market bullshit. That's basically.
Bro, I might have to start tokenizing shisha, man. That could be.
You could tokenize it.
You know what I'm saying? 2 puffs each. You know, especially in the UK, you know, when mans wanna, you know, they don't chip in, but they want to share your pipe. You know, you're like, yo, get some tokenization going here, man. What's your share? Where's your £2.50? Back in the days, It was all about that, man. You
I do
roll
agree
up to
with
the
that,
chicken
bro. I
shop,
mean, you
yeah.
can tokenize anything, bro. Like anything that
Exactly.
generates tokenize. And I think it'll be a platform that people will use, and because they'll have some token utility, Rio will do well as well.
So far we got Rio, we've got Props,
Brickken. I like Brickken.
Brickken.
You know about Brickken?
Brickken, yeah, BKM, bro. Talk to us about it.
I like Brickken, bro. I
That
think
is
Brickken will do very, very well. This is a project that as soon as they came out, I've just been supporting these motherfuckers for a long time, bro. Like,
wow.
I did an AMA with the CEO. I think it was like somewhere down here when he
Last
first
week,
came
right?
out. I did one
Did you
last
do
week, and I did one in 2023 as well when he literally first came out. And
Yo, that CEO is solid though. Honestly,
solid. He's a solid guy, bro. Even from the start, when I was speaking to him, like he knew what he was doing. They already have a decent amount tokenized, and the TVR just grew massively, and it's gonna continue to grow because a lot of people are using the platform. But the CEO is definitely like he knows what he's doing, bro. And that's one of the
he's
reasons
solid, bro.
He's solid, bro. And they got
I
some.
really
Big
did enjoy. I mean, I've seen both of your AMAs, even the recent one comes to mind. But I just feel like if you go to the website, like sometimes the first impression tells you everything about the project, and that's why I always say to like projects, man, fucking sort your websites out and show us a clear narrative and a clear journey. And this was as real as they get. You don't have to look too far or too deep to actually understand what it is that they're doing. And then the guy at the head of that project is crystal clear. And it's funny you say, like, we talk about this today because somebody in my group was talking about a particular token today. And I was like, bro, these guys, they're on market and they don't really tweet and they grabbed our money. Why should we be bullish on them? And this is the opposite end of that spectrum. When you look at AI tech or, like we said, with this one, this is a well-spoken man, very clear business plan. And talk about it, bro. Let us know, all of the things
I mean, they've got a big partnership coming with something to do with the UAE, and the application got accepted. So I think I don't know when he's going to release it. He did throw some hints of he's going to release it. So when it does come out, I think it'll be very massive. I think what really put this on the map was when they became the main tokenizer for the BNB chain. So anything that needs to be tokenized with BNB will be done through Brickken, which I thought was quite massive. So, I think that's what put this on the map. This is what made it pump last year as well. It was like it came down to about 12 cents and then rallied all the way to like 60, damn near 60 in a very short period of time. And, because of that, people kind of added it to the watch list. And now, because the TVR is growing as well massively, I think, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to like 40, 50 million very soon, which is, that's more than double the market cap. So it goes to show. And the best thing is, like, these guys just finished their all the early investor unlocks. So there's no early investors to dump on you anymore, which I think is quite massive as well.
From a tokenomics standpoint, anyway, if you look at the
we can't hear you, bro. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
One sec. Check it. I think your mic might be muted.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Hello?
What is
Speak.
This? Yo,
can you guys hear DXB? This might just cut off, bro. Fuck.
Yeah, nah, I know what it is.
Hello?
Let me just put
AirPods.
this. Sounds good.
Sound is good.
Yeah.
The fuck? Well, let me just remove your Addy back.
Yeah, nah, all good.
There you go. Now it's good. Now. I couldn't hear you for some weird reason, bro.
Nah, it's all right, bro. It's probably the airwaves. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
There's the thing goes outside of my yard, man. Anyway, I was just saying, bro. So when you look at logically something that has a 71 million circulating with a total supply of 143, sitting at 25 cents, this is a double-digit token. I'm just putting that 100%. Like it's a double-digit token. So
this is another thing to watch out for is like how many people have added it to the portfolio. Like how many people have are watching the token.
Very good
which
metric.
is 100, a very good metric. Is like, because when it dumps, when it dumps, people will look to buy it. That's why they have it on their portfolio. They don't just add it to the portfolio, because it looks good. They add it because when it dumps and they're ready to step in and buy. And this is one of the projects that when it moves up, it tends to hold up really well as well.
Good level, yeah. That chart looks very appealing for sure.
Yeah, this was that big move that happened in 2024 when we had the RWA pump. So it moved.
Yeah, that was it got up to what? $2, $150? Something crazy.
It was like almost 150. CoinGecko will always get it wrong, but like if you go on Mexi and shit, at the Wix is always going to be higher.
Yeah, it's
these guys don't count the Wix.
That's a low cap gem. 17, $18 million. I mean, friggin' hell, man. That's I like that. I like that. The fact that you've said obviously they tokenized anything on BNB, bullish, some big partnership coming up, possibly Dubai based, super bullish. Yeah. Now you've given us a solid list, bro. Any more to sprinkle?
The last one, bro, is probably gonna be ATR, bro. I don't know if you heard of this one, Art Trade. This is one.
The Art Trade, yes, I've heard you talk about this one. It is definitely a gem.
It moves very fast, which is always good because people like stuff like that. It's like when the market flips bullish, it will always pump 2 to 3x in the short term, which even though people don't sell, they're always fucking happy that the portfolio is moving, bro. Like in the short term, it makes them happy, even though they don't fucking sell, bro. This is what pisses me off.
Just want to see green.
I just want to see green, bro. So it's like if you want to see green in the short term, this is not in this Rio.
If you want to see green, go to Jamaica, fam. Okay.
Well, this is another good one, I think, is because this one has solid token utility. Everything on the platform gets used through staking. So when they bring the Rolexes on the platform, they have different tiers of staking, which I think is quite useful. The same thing with Propbase as well. If you want more allocations on the properties, which they've already done free properties, then you have to stake more tokens. And this is the exact same thing with this. If you want more discounts, so they buy a Rolex for 15 grand on yeah, that's funny. But they buy a Rolex for 15 grand, but they give it to you like 30-40% discount. I've never.
That's insane, bro. Do you wanna bring up the website? Let them. Yeah, because I just landed there and it looks super. Like I said, I put a lot of emphasis on presentation. I think this is again a clear messaging on and the branding is very, very good, bro. It's it's incredibly well done.
They have a bunch of different stuff. They originally done art, but I think they're still doing art, metals, art, watches, luxury stuff. I think it will do very well. This will do at least a couple 100 million in a nice bull run. Because another thing they do is they burn as well. Every quarter, they have a DAO where they either 33%. So they have like different percentages, but they'll burn 33%. They'll use 33% to buy the objects, and then they stake 33% as well. So that's why, like, if you look at the max supply and how much they've burned a decent amount, and I think they're going to continue to burn. Which is burning is basically like a form of token utility in a way, because the more you burn, the more scarce it becomes, obviously, and
that's so sick. I mean, if you look at the product section, apart from the bottle of wine, you got projects dropping in in X, coming up, dropping on that date. I think that utility, and they've got an iOS and Android app as well. Yeah. I think this stuff is I can see a lot of bull market profits going here, man.
Yeah, I think so. I'm definitely going to be buying something up here with my profits.
I'm telling you, bro.
I'll be staking my APR or buying a Rolex or something, bro. I'm telling you, man, this is a good
100%, man.
I just people are going to be outbidding the shit out of this in the bull run, bro. Yeah. When everyone feels rich, they're going to be buying something, bro. I'm telling you. That's why I think we'll do well, because they bring a new Rolex every other week. Rolex, whatever people like realistically, but everyone likes a luxury watch. So whether it's
Yeah, stake now. I mean that's a good utility. That is
also passive income, but the more you stake, the more discount you get, which is quite massive.
which is brilliant. Yeah, 40%, 30%,
yeah,
20%.
APY.
I think that's a good, staking when done right, man. It could be incredible.
But I don't ever stake personally.
Yeah, me too. Like it's the ones I stake, I forget.
Yeah. If you you can stake some fucking high caps and shit, like but anything low cap, unless you're doing it for like a couple of months, which is I don't mind a couple of months, but anything more than 3 months, bro, I would never do it personally.
Yeah, nah, people forget, bro. Like honestly, a funny one. I was staking Ethereum for Titan X, and then what happened was
Titan X. What happened?
Bro, that was some crazy. Like 2023 bear market was just a wonderful time because it was kind of like, okay, first time out of the 15K Bitcoin. We went into January. That was the launch of Bonk. Solana came back up. Anyway, I was doing all this crazy on-chain stuff. And the Titan X I earned went absolutely ballistic, but there was one small detail I forgot, man. I was supposed to claim it within a specific time. So what they did with their platform is they show you your balance. And I was using a wallet tracker to see this big, massive chunk of money sitting in there, but I couldn't get any of it out. And yeah, ultimately, you go to Discord and say, hey, what about, I've done it. And they're like, no, sorry, it's claimable within specific times, So yeah, no, sorry. Someone's asking, Jay, Titan X is not an RWA. Don't go near it. It is absolutely mechanically complicated shit. Yeah. And my money's still there. So there you have it, guys. That's a beautiful breakdown. And definitely all of these coins you've given us, bro, they are not they haven't left it off. Like they haven't left the station. There are amazing entry opportunities. For me, I don't really care how far 10%, 20% the chart goes, man. It's all about DCA. And people don't have $50,000 to put into it once. Anyway, I don't know what people complain about. If you buy a little bit here today, get some more next week.
What I always tell people is like, but when I say DCA,
man, it's
$50 or $100 here, $100 there, $100 next week. Does not mean you fucking chuck in $5,000 here and it goes down 15% because some dumb happens and you start fucking crying like a little bitch.
Honestly, I don't get that. The irrational face, the lift off. Bro, I had a guy today, man. I put out a video, and I'm sure we'll talk about the meme coins in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about it actually.
But bro, I put out a video just telling people I found something that could do 100x because it's at 300k, right? Simple dynamics, simple mathematics. They're like, "Oh, I told you he's a paid shiller, he's a scam." I'm thinking, what the fuck, man? I've probably made we've made more money for people, and some people obviously.
Yeah. Oh, this is the thing though. Like, even if you make money for people, like even if you make $500 for people, bro, these fucking YouTube videos we do pay us like $10, bro. Like if that, when I do a live stream, I'll make like £5-6, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this shit because of fucking is making me crazy money, bro.
Bro, we need to join Galaxy, man. He takes $5 a comment. You know what I'm saying? Wallah, he does not read comments unless they pay him. But the funny thing is, man, I don't actually even have an AdSense account. I tried to get my address verified here in AD, bro. And they've been telling me for months your PIN is coming through. So I've got like little.
The PIN. They send you that PIN, bro. But mine's monetized, but trust me, you don't make much money, bro.
There's no money in it, Like we do this out of our own. YouTube has.
To tokenize my YouTube channel, but 2-3 people might be able to pay for it. I said you might, but in a year, you might make. Let's say you do 5 streams a week, you'll make max £50, right? You might make about.
What are you gonna do with £50, bro?
Fucking £50 a week, but that's like a Nando's meal, bro.
Bro, that's like job seekers allowance, man. I'm telling you. That's
Yeah,
how they got people.
give us your top five. Give us your top five RWAs. What are you holding for RWA?
So RWA, my biggest holding is Ondo. I just to be honest, my average is not like super low, but it's not super high as well. It's like between 40 and 50 cents. But the reason I absolutely put a lot of money into Ondo is one of the reasons I created a bear market hit list. So I go by this principle of preparing myself now, like we were saying. Like, you know, we talked about Peak and probably ETH is another one. But I've got like 8 tokens or coins that I will buy no matter what. Because I see those having a longer, kind of like survival. A 10-year, it's a longer term investment. So I think what Ondo is doing, regardless of market cap, is for me only bullish on one thing, and that is TradFi. So if you look at RWA today and you see TradFi money being on the sidelines, stablecoin regulations and all of that stuff, and look at what they do with like not only with JP Morgan, with Ripple. Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, this could be, you know, maybe this cycle you want, you know, maybe it goes to 30 or 50 or whatever billion it goes to. But ultimately, I think that is a dual multi-cycle coin. So that's kind of like
the RWA stuff was supposed to be, you know, but I don't know, by 2030, like a $30 trillion, you know, industry. Right now, we're like
absolutely insane because, like you said, you know, tokenizing is going to give us the most realistic, real world application of crypto. So, yeah, I would say the number one holding I have is Ondo. I have actually flirted around with ZBEC. I posted that as a micro cap, didn't get enough, and then it ran, and then after that, obviously now it sits at friggin' $428 million in market cap. ZBEC. I do like the look of ZBEC, ZBEC.
Oh, ZBEC, yes.
ZBEC, however you say it, bro, because they had that partnership with AI tech as well.
Yeah. These guys bought a company, didn't they? Or
they did, and then they went ballistic.
That news, bro.
But that run was just ridiculous.
Someone was telling me about this, bro. He goes, he made like a fucking almost, I don't know, like 5-6x or some shit, and like it's crazy.
A couple of days. I think it was like
it was like a couple of days.
It's fucking. It ran like
they've bought a company. I don't know what company it was. But it's quite massive.
Yeah, it's like, remember Syrup? Somebody was mentioning it. Syrup did. I mean, it's what again one you spoke about. Syrup did absolutely crazy shit for, you know, on the listing of Binance as well. But there was one that I was really bullish on called Dusk, a layer 1 listed on Binance. I think you spoke about it.
Yeah, I've heard of Dusk.
Yeah, I was kind of like, you know, I'm still disappointed with it slightly. 27 million market cap. The biggest draw for me at the time was it's a layer 1 and it's on Binance, but it hasn't quite taken off yet.
You know what? In the previous one, though,
yeah, it absolutely rocketed like crazy. But I was just thinking maybe this could do. You know, it was supposed to be like a kind of offshot of Pendle. I was hoping. Yeah, Pendle is one that I did really well with previously, bro. But apart from that, another microcap I had that did really well for me was Collat.
Yeah, I got into Collat as well, actually.
What the that was a wicked pump.
I trade alert on this one, but this one done really well, bro.
Collat, right, bro? Like it's
Collat, it's basically like ATR. It was like another version of ATR.
ATR, yeah.
And then because fucking Totally shielded it just went parabolic after Totally shielded. Totally can really move projects, bro.
You know, honestly, you can't tell. Almost like it's so similar to art, and that's why I think that's why I think it's going to do well. It's had its run anyway. It's still only 26 million.
It's come down now though. It's down loads, bro. Look at that chart.
It came down proper.
This is Solana 101, bro. It does really well.
And then boom.
But Solana 101.
What do you think? What do you think of the likes of Boson? Because I heard you speak about Boson before.
So look, Boson protocol.
TokenFi is another one, bro, that I like.
Yeah. TokenFi, yeah. That's the one that's partnered with Bonk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one would do well because Bonk would do well. Human first, agentic commerce. I don't think I've seen this. Is this the right one?
Yeah, this looks like they're tokenizing spiders, bro. Crypto's gone mental. I think that was an Australian one, isn't it?
Maybe
Boson protocol. I think it was it on Base or Ethereum?
It's on Ethereum.
Yeah, on Ethereum. I mean, the chart did nothing, and it retraced.
Yeah, it hasn't done nothing. There's a lot of projects though, and they don't really do too much. Not because of you know. I think it's just either the narrative didn't really take off, or they just lack a bit of marketing. That's what it is. Some projects
they have changed their friggin' website. I mean, I don't recognize this website at all myself.
That's what I was thinking, though, because I remember looking at this, but I've never remember looking at this though. This looks
totally nice,
different,
bro.
Machine for
roadmap update. What the?
Yeah, that's good. I like projects that change their website because it just brings like a whole new thing to it.
New, fresh perspective to it. Yeah.
It does, yeah. I do like it.
But yeah, no, that's a dead. I mean, you know, the chart right now is absolutely dead.
Yeah, it looks like,
and that's it. I mean, to be honest, I was expecting. I'm kind of shopping around for a good RWA low cap drops. But Propbase is the other one to kind of complete my my kind of holdings. Even though I hold this one a little bit, like it's not a lot. So it's one of the ones I'm going to increase.
Well, no one's buying Kita anymore, bro. Fuck that.
What happened to it, man?
Fucking exit liquidity, bro. Then mainnet was supposed to come out. I told people, right? Yeah. This was OCT pushed. I think this is 4 million because there's like 4 or 5 influencers I was following, and all of them were just talking about it, like just talking about it. I was like, what the fuck? This is like a fucking organized shilling, bro. Because how these 4 or 5 influencers, you know, talk about the same token at the same time. And then,
well, talking about that, I remember your trenches days when of course on TG you'd find the likes of AGI, AI tech at a microscopic levels, and then all of a sudden you see people fighting over them on YouTube. That happens with influencers, man. They
That's the crazy thing, bro. Is they do fight over. It's like, oh, I called it first. Like,
I called it first, man. And then we get rugged collectively.
Yeah, you all get rugged, and then you all get blamed in the end, anyways, bro. So what the fuck is the point of you fighting over it, and then you'd be called a scammer, bro? These are people don't realize. When AI tech was fucking down, everyone was calling it a scammer. I was getting called a scammer for AI tech because when he went down below 2 cents, everyone was calling it a scammer, bro. Like down here. And,
this is crazy, man. So what happens when AI tech gets on Binance? Because that's all the noises I can see reading between the lines, bro. Well, people are going to call you genius.
They will, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that's all it is. You know, we spoke about AI tech today in the Discord, and the unlocks are so insignificant. I mean, today they unlocked 54,000 tokens for KOLs.
Fucked, fam. Last year it was fucked. That's what kept this. This is what kept this shit like just stagnant for so long, because of the unlocks. For the whole of 2024, the unlocks were just killing. Obviously, the market condition was just shit, anyways. But the unlocks were just slowly just killing this, because anytime you had any decent pump, the fucking early investors would just sell into it. Decent pump, sell into it, and eventually everything just went collapsed, anyways.
But the good thing is, you know, like honestly, people don't realize sometimes the team is one of the most important components of a project. I could buy the vision of a team and their delivery and their work more than sometimes I can on a token performance alone, because the token performance will come.
Yeah. I do agree. Yeah.
But if you're not marketing it, if you're not shilling it, bro, it's like these guys have put themselves in every possible position When money flow starts happening, when Bitcoin dominance drops, it will capture the liquidity. That's what we're debating right now. What will capture liquidity? I mean, somebody put, Ben said here, I got screwed with based AI, and I agree with him. On the one side, I hold a shitload of based AI. I've got absolutely, my backside got handed to me. Absolute piece of shit. Not because of what they promised.
Yeah, it's good of the
team. But ultimately, they don't even tweet, man.
That's the thing, though. It's like, that's what pisses me off, bro. Is like, bro, you can just say anything, bro. Just post anything, bro. Or just fucking pay someone, bro. Like, you can pay someone, just to post literally anything.
And they said we're handing this over to the. But sometimes it is beyond our control, and sometimes we can get it wrong, and everybody can get it wrong. Michael Saylor gets it wrong. Fucking,
Michael Saylor bought the top.
He buys the top every week.
Yeah, every other week, bro. But he thinks like 30 years down the line, so I don't think he gives a shit anyways.
He doesn't give a exactly. But I do feel sorry for you, Ben, in the comments. And genuinely, the best way to handle that is sometimes you cut your losses. Or what I like to do sometimes with some of the coins that are not performing well, I just forget about it, because it's not really, I'm not seeing P&Ls being posted on X. I'm not seeing irrational.
Yeah, no, it's like, I look at it like this, right? If your project is not performing when in like an old season, then it was wrong to hold it. But if your project's not performing now, you can't really do anything, because obviously there's always going to be coins pumping, but it's like liquidity is not here at the moment. So if it doesn't pump, it's not there. If it doesn't pump, it'll pump at later. As long as he pumped at some point, then it's okay, because he'll tell you money will flow into it at some point. I get a lot of shit for alt. I think alt is the one project I hold that does not move as much, but I get the most shit on that project. Even though it's like, because there's like 10 other projects that move. Like, if one doesn't move, who gives a shit? That's the way I look at it. It's like, as long as they don't rug it, I don't give a shit. In the short
term. Back a little bit, maybe watch that, because when you see a chart like this, and again, you were talking about the partnerships, and I agree with you. I came from the business world, the IT world. I understand Tencent and these types of companies in the real world. And sometimes with something like this, $18 million is a microcap.
Yeah, for all.
It's a microcap, right? So if we look at the traditional money flow of crypto, if you go back to like basic books, somebody buys $100,000 of this is going to start rocketing.
Yeah, of course.
So sometimes you can't have everything. You've got or tons of shit, or not shit projects that are doing badly, but that's because of the way they are positioned and money flow and whatever. But I'm happy with the Alephium team, because they're working, they're doing AMAs, they are they're integrating to Ledger, to this, to that. Ultimately, that will come good.
Yeah, it will come
same
good,
as all.
Like, the price action will catch up.
Absolutely. But what I can't forgive is a team that's not tweeting, that's not listing, that's not marketing. Then what the fuck do you want? Do you want us to sing your praises? Regardless of me losing fucking 87% of my own money, what do you want me to do? Go and make a CTO?
Oh, make a fucking CTO on Discord or something. Bro, that's the thing with based AI, bro. It's like, when I see a project still working, but the price action is not moving, I don't really mind too much.
No, you just have to either get rid of it.
As long as they're working, that's the thing. It's like, one of the things that these guys have done recently is they've tokenized the data hub, which means that because they earn millions anyways from the data hub shit and their storage or whatever. Anyone that stakes the token from now on, or whenever they do it, they've just put a proposal out. Anyone who stakes the token, which they are gonna. I've made a post, because I speak to the team quite often. I tell them, like, increase the amount of alt. The more alt that's out of circulation and staked, the better it is for the token, anyways. So if they increase it to 30K and they got like 300,000 people on the data hub, you add that up, even if half of those people stake the tokens, that's a lot of alt being out of circulation, which means the price will go up, and then those people that stake it will earn the revenue that they're earning, so they'll pay them whatever amount of money will be in it.
Bro,
I
can
think
you
that's
just remind me what they do with BNB? Because I heard that on one of your streams.
they're like the main storage provider for BNB chain. So like like they have the what's it called? It's called BNB Greenfield, which is like the BNB chain's storage place. Like these guys provide the storage for them. Because this is like it's like split into 3 parts. So it has the data hub, it has the storage, it has the AI agents, and then it has the compute, which is coming out later this year.
I can't believe they integrate with Slack. Most people here would not know what Slack is, and Slack is basically kind of a setup where you could build teams and give them tasks and move tasks. Your whole entire organization. I actually saw that for the first time because I clicked on their partnership with Lenovo Image, Seagate, and Tencent. If you've ever been in IT, these should ring a bell, and that's why when G says they're a real world company. That's so sick, bro. But I didn't actually know they integrated into Slack.
Bro, they do a lot of shit, bro. Like they're listed under like the biggest data exchange in China, bro. They do so much shit, but it's like they have so much stuff compacted that they can't bring it out. They just have a shit marketing team, bro. I'm gonna try to get into the team and be part of the fucking marketing team and get the shit pushed or something, bro.
Well, gee, that is mental because we've been on 1 hour 26 minutes, bro. Let's do a segment on meme coins.
Yes. Let's do that. I think
we'll do a segment on meme coins. And again, I'd love to be back anyway, and would love to have you over, man.
Good to see you as well, my friend.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
On here, bro.
I'm still alive, bro. Don't worry. Man's bought a solid wood to duck under.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Right. So let's do it on your one. In terms of meme coins, bro, first of all, what are you bullish on? And just maybe a list of meme coins, and I'll talk about some as well, and then we'll call it a night.
We'll do the one that we like anyway. We'll do the Jojo, but I think I do like this meme coin. I think it'll do very well. This
one is funny, man.
This one is the reason I like this shit is because of the website, bro. Like I've not seen a website that has people like stuff like this. I think like the cinematic stuff where it's moving or doing something. People like it. If the team maybe gets a couple more games on here, does something with these where you can earn some sort of points. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with this website. And
I did a video on Jojo today.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, bro, I started playing. I went straight to the Jojo arcade, right? And I was gonna text you and say, "Yo, check this game out." This thing should be on. Like, honestly, I just love the fact that you could go to different places. Continue, bro. Sorry, I jumped in with excitement.
Yeah, but this is. I think this will do very well as a low cap. Like, I personally only chucked in like $1,000 into it, like a couple hundred, 500 to $1,000. I'm gonna hold this shit because once the bong fuckers get into this, which they will at some point, I think this was a start flying because when the whales get in and they control the supply, when people get into it afterwards, it's gonna be easy pumping, bro.
I agree with you, bro. I think, look, I put in about the same, and sometimes I look at meme coins and I think, okay, you know what? Every community or communities deserve to have something that they have a bit of alpha on, and they can see a bit of direction. And again, the proof is always in the pudding. So when we had the dip recently, as a microcap, it should have collapsed, but it didn't.
It held, Joe.
And it held. And I remember texting you saying, yo, because of course, we care about the community and we want to be proven right about, making a lot of money for people. As much as people either appreciate or don't appreciate what we do, it doesn't matter. Today, this is sitting at 533K market cap. From what I know, and of course, what we've shared and of course, put our money into it, I reckon the floor for Jojo should be about $10 million. Don't hold me to this, guys, but the ability for whales. So initially, the story of Jojo was Jojo came out and it was launched on Let's Bonk, and the snipers got in, and you can see here from your chart, it spiked up, but it's already actually sitting
well above it now.
ATH. It's actually forming a new kind of floor.
That's the thing with these meme coins, bro. Like they will form new floors.
KOLs that will bring their communities after us if they really want to make a good amount of money. This is the only meme coin I know with a GitHub. Yeah, the team is absolutely insane. The only thing that worked against them on the initial launch was the snipes. Now, what they've done is they're going to push out a good amount of marketing, and I believe from these levels, I think a 10x is 5 million. Should do that. Ultimately, I believe we can pull 20x as a kind of a baseline if it sits above $10 million. And by the time, like you said, it gets into or in front of the bigger communities with the Bonk team. And for those of you who don't actually know what Let's Bonk is, it's an entire community built on, Bonk, the meme coin, supported by Solana, and it's also integrated into Radium. And their projects tend to do better. So overall, Jojo should be a stable, in my opinion. I mean, recently we've been very lucky with few decent meme coins. We've done Kokoro, we've done Lofi, we've done now. Hopefully, Jojo could do that. But yeah, I agree with you, bro. About $1,000 in there, and it's something that I do believe over time should just build and build and build. And if anybody wants to sell it, they'll just see it grow. I think if it's more of a community effort, we might see the floor being raised quite a bit, man. But yeah, that's Jojo the condom, man. Something that I'm sure doesn't have dumps.
It doesn't. Every time it dumps, it recovers fast, quick, because the whales are getting the supply right now.
Right.
That's how you know.
Absolutely, bro. Like, just since we've been on, look, there's a buy here, obviously from the community, the $700, $200 there, $400. It's going to grow. And I think by the time they bring the other components in, we should be above at least $1 million to $2 million. And then the ultimate floor should be 10 million.
A few million this year.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, you're gonna see probably me, G, a few other influencers talk about this one, but everyone on this live stream is probably early to it. So yeah, check it out. Again, should be like a community thing, and it should grow. Yeah, bro. Definitely. And finally, G, one or two other meme coins.
I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't really hold any memes, but I'll be honest with you. The one that I held was SPX. Don't really want, but I sold it because it moves very fast. Anything that moves faster, you just gotta get rid of it, bro. I don't like to hold on to it. There's a few decent ones I like Migos on base. I've traded this quite a few times. It tends to move very fast, and you definitely need. I think you just get like a decent meme coin on every chain. So Mr. Migos is one that's that's everyone kind of in the Fingy community knows about, in the base community. So when base tends to do well, Mr. Migos will obviously pump with base. And then there's a few on Solana as well, but I don't really remember none of them, to be honest. But get one on Solana, get one on base, and get one on Ethereum, because when Ethereum starts to wake up, these Matt Fury bullshits, they're gonna start pumping as well.
Yeah, the Matt Fury's cat's pet's dog. You know what? They're starting his dog's cat. It's like 2 or 3 tickets down the line, bro. It's at some point it just becomes tiring. But yeah, listen, let's do it again, bro. I'm really looking forward to chilling with you, man. And when are we gonna see you in Dubai anyway?
I'm gonna be in Dubai I'll probably be in Dubai like around the winter times when it's winter over here.
Yeah, we'll do a live stream
Nice.
together, man,
Yeah.
from the beach.
Do a live stream. We'll go to we do the shisha stuff as well, bro.
Yeah, with a Lambo as well. Get everybody hyped up.
Yeah. Definitely, bro. It's good to see everyone is still holding Maneki. I got rid of Maneki, to be honest.
Amazing. I think we've frozen a little. Bro?
Do you hold Maneki?
You know what? I've got a little bit, I got a little bag.
The chart looked so manipulated, but I had to get rid of it.
Bro, that thing, man, I just like it because of Sheffield United.
Yeah. It is. It will. I mean, look, when memes wake up again, it will probably pump. But
Honestly,
this is gambling, boys. Meme coins are gambling. They have their time, and then after their time is done, if you're still holding them, then
you're gonna be in prison for a while with them. And I think they were back in London. I've got family in Sheffield, and I live in Brentford, West London. So we went to watch Brentford versus Sheffield United. And I forget, I'm an Arsenal fan, bro, but the whole match, I would have shut the F up about the sponsorship. I kept on cracking up. No one understood what Memecoin was. Nobody gave a shit. I was like, yo, that's that, they rugged me on that coin. They took my money to sponsor teams. That's what I was shouting, man.
That's what they've done, bro. The motherfuckers, I think they took all the marketing
fucking rugged us
to basically give it to. I sold it on this pump over here. You see this artificial pump, bruv. I got rid of it then because it's like this chart looks so fake, bruv. I was like, you know what? If I don't get that now, I'm gonna be stuck in
all the money is going to Sheffield United, guys. They're buying socks and boots with it. But if they give us one last pump, then you know what? I'll take the money and say Alhamdulillah, do a runner, man.
Get rid of it, man. I did get rid of mine though, to be honest. I mean, it was slightly in profits, and then I just thought I'm not gonna hold into this shit, bruv.
Yeah, to be honest, as of late, I have become a bit of a shitcoin expert, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's
you know what? But when the market gets boring, you tend to become a shitcoin expert, bro.
Expert, man.
That's all that pumps, bro. Is like you have to make money somewhere, and the shitcoin experts are.
It's gotta be done.
It's gotta be done, bro. I'm gonna be turning to a shitcoin expert myself. So.
The most fundamentally sound guy I know in crypto. The with the best researchers and being in the trenches for years, called 100x's all over the place.
You have
now officially becoming a shitcoin expert as well.
Oh, this is like it has to be done, man. Like these meme coins move so fast that even if you chuck
that's a good switch, man.
I have to.
Yo, the internet is buffering, man.
I think your issue is buffering a bit, yeah.
I
think we should wrap it up anyways. 1 hour.
Guys, can you still hear us?
Yeah.
I think yeah.
I think DXB is gone, boys.
Pump suspended on X. Wow, yeah, savage. Sorry, bro. We froze for a minute. But anyway, yeah, man. Let's anything else, bro, before we
Bro, just everyone on my channel, but make sure you subscribe to DXB, bro. Check out his channel. We'll probably do it again.
Bro.
We'll do it again, bro. Definitely, man. It'll be
everybody. Make sure you go to the brother, join the Discord, everything, and hopefully we will do another one this week, next week, any week, bro.
Yep, we'll definitely do one again, bro. When the market's either better or worse, we'll just do it anyways, bro. Fuck it.
Yeah. Wicked, guys.
All right, guys. Smash that like button. I'll see you guys in another stream. I'll probably do one probably in a few days, actually. So, yeah. Smash that like. Take care. Bye-bye, guys.
Amazing, guys. Thank you. It's a wicked stream.